What if everything you have been told about law of attraction and manifestation is missing one crucial secret? Today, we will uncover that secret. We will uncover the missing piece to law of attraction. Once we understand this, our destiny will be in our own hands. The Adhvaitha channel is about consciousness and conscious creation. Here we explore Vedanta and various other spiritual teachings from India to understand the nature of reality and to consciously create our lives. Now, law of attraction, as you all know, is a principle, is a teaching which talks about how our thoughts and our feelings have an effect on the reality that we experience. Basically, the law of attraction teachings tell us that by taking control of our thoughts and emotions, we can begin to shape our reality in the way in which we want it to experience. But what if I told you that this works for some people at some times because of a hidden secret? This is the secret of non-duality. If we understand non-duality and the teachings of Advaita Vedanta, and then when we look at the principle of law of attraction through this understanding, we get a profound insight on the nature of reality. This is what I call conscious creation. Conscious creation is about creating our lives consciously through the foundational understanding of non-duality and Advaita Vedanta. Now, non-duality is the understanding that there is no separation between you and the existence at the deepest level. Now, this might sound abstract and this might not sound practical, but there is a profound truth to the teachings of non-duality. When we understand Advaita Vedanta, we come to a realization that everything in essence is one. What I call I, what I call the universe, and the different objects in the universe are only separate from me on the surface level, on the superficial level. Once I recognize the nature of my own awareness, and once I recognize that I am, in fact, that awareness or consciousness, we recognize that everything is in that consciousness and everything is that consciousness. So, technically, when we look at law of attraction from the perspective of Advaita Vedanta, from the understanding of non-duality, we recognize that there was never a separation or a gap between you and your desires. That is, between your current life and your ideal life. Now just think about how powerful this is. Until now, we were thinking that my life is like this right now and I want something which is not in my life right now, and that is my ideal life. And right now there is a gap between my current life and my ideal life. And by working on my thoughts, my belief systems, my emotions, I can gradually make my ideal life possible. This is the paradigm of law of attraction. But this is very limited and this is incomplete. From the non-dual perspective, we understand that there has never been a gap between where we are and our ideal life. That is why the Upanishads time and again say, go within yourself to find true fulfillment. Because once we go within, we go into that infinite potential. In that infinite potential, all realities exist. All possibilities exist. So once we go there, we will not need anything else. And even if we wish for something, we naturally manifest it, as we will come from a place of fullness when we understand these teachings. Now let's break it down even further. From the perspective of non-duality, there is no separation between subject and object. There is no separation between you and your desires. And it is not about changing something out there in the external world, but it is simply about aligning our awareness with a potentiality or with a reality that already exists within us, within that infinite potential, and simply realizing it and living it. Now, most of you might be thinking, all this sounds theoretical. Does it have a practical application? This is very practical. Of course, understanding this and making this worldview a part of our life may take some time for us. But once we begin to understand the essence of Advaita Vedanta and non duality, our life will take a U turn and our life will change completely. First of all, when we understand that we are not separate from anything and we are not isolated from anything, all the competition, all the comparison, all the jealousy slowly fades away. And once we recognize that we are not separate from our ideal life and the objects of our desires, we naturally rest and we naturally transcend anxiety, suffering, and stress. We naturally let go of things because we recognize that we are full in our nature and we are complete even here and now. From that fullness, manifesting our ideal life becomes very, very easy. Then the non dual understanding also expands your awareness of possibilities. Whatever vision that you had for your life might look like a short sighted vision once you understand Advaita Vedanta. You might dream even bigger and you might envision to impact this world in an even bigger way. This becomes possible when we understand that all the infinite possibilities and potentialities are within us. It is up to us to tap into those potentialities and manifest them in this world. Now, let us address a common misconception. Most of the seekers and most of the people look at non duality in this way. When they hear about non duality, they think that it talks about just being passive and it talks about not doing anything. This is absolutely not true. If we look at some of the greatest teachers of non duality like Shankaracharya, Swami Vivekananda, etc., they were extremely active in society. They achieved a lot of great things. So, it is a huge misconception. Although some people, after they begin to understand non duality, might prefer inactivity and might prefer staying away from society, this is not the case for all of us. We are free to do what we wish to do in our life. But the non dual understanding, the teachings of Advaita, give us a bigger perspective of this world. They give us a deeper perspective on what this world actually is. Now, here are two powerful practices when it comes to Advaita Vedanta. One is self inquiry, it is about understanding the nature of ego. When we begin to ask ourselves continuously, who am I or what am I beyond this body and beyond this mind, we will slowly begin to grasp the truth of non duality. Second is meditation. When we detach our awareness from the external world and from external things to that pure awareness, we again begin to recognize our true nature. Now, let us sum all this up and let us understand how conscious creation works from the foundational understanding of non duality. Point 1, non duality resolves the paradox of separation. Law of attraction often assumes a duality and separation between person manifesting and the external reality being manifested. Non duality reveals that at the deepest level, there is no separation. They are one unified field of consciousness. Point 2, non dual awareness shifts the focus from getting to being. So, once you work on your being, it naturally transforms your doing, which then leads to having. So instead of focusing on having, we must focus on being. Point 3, the non dual perspective expands the field of possibilities. When you are no longer limited by the idea of being separate from the world, your creative potential expands exponentially. Point 4, non duality naturally aligns desires with the greater good. Realizing your fundamental interconnectedness with all of existence leads to desires that are in harmony with the whole rather than just serving the ego. Point number 5, the non dual understanding of time being illusory helps explain how future manifestations can be influenced by present intentions and states of being. It collapses the apparent gap between desire and fulfillment, between present and future. Point 6, the non dual awareness reveals the illusory nature of the egoic self. that is usually doing the manifesting in law of attraction practices. Seeing this ego for what it is, we will come out of our petty desires and attachments, and we will come up with a holistic vision for our life, which is not just beneficial for us, but for the entire humanity as a whole. So understand that there is one infinite potential, there is one infinite consciousness within which everything exists. And like Chandogya Upanishad says, Tattvamasi, you are it. You are that infinite potential. You need not do anything, you need not have anything in order to be fulfilled and joyful. Fulfillment, joy, and bliss is your true nature. Everything that you seek is within you, and if you want to manifest something in this external world, you can simply tap into that potential by going within. This is the secret to law of attraction that we can get from non-duality. Now, if you want to pursue this further, then you must understand the 4 pillars of conscious creation. Technically, there are 9 pillars to conscious creation, but the first 4 pillars are the basic principles that you must master. And to do this, we have made a special value video. This 22-minute video will explain to you conscious creation, and it will give an introduction to the Adhvaitha conscious society where you can delve deeper into this. So check out the link in the description to watch this value video, and then to understand how your destiny is being controlled by your karma, check out this important video that we had made in the past. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one. Subscribe to Adhvaitha to wake up. Shivoham.